Welcome back, guys. I am the Executioner, and today we're going to be looking at an esoteric entity video, or Eso the Free as he calls himself nowadays, aka Midnight Phantom. Now, I have tried to stay neutral throughout this esoteric bullshit, but he has made a video on the CIA and how they potentially hacked him, so let's see if he has any proof towards these accusations, and let's see this.
Hey guys. So, I'm just about finished with my guide on counter-economics, and it should be up by the end of this week. However, I just had to make this video because this is incredibly important. It happened just last night, and I am not gonna let this get swept under the rug. This is a big deal, and you all need to know about it.
You ever notice Esoteric Entity kind of talks like Trump a little bit? Yeah, this is a big deal, guys. Big deal. We can't sweep this under the rug. Come on, guys. Give me your shekels. But really, dude, is this really that big of a deal? Your stream crashed? Know what? I'd say I hear the guy out, so let's hear this, furry man out.
So last night, Filthy and I were enjoying our usual Tuesday night routine of hosting the Cool Capitalist Kids podcast, where we read off a list of interesting things which happened since the last episode and present our own commentary and opinions on the matter. And on last night's episode, we were going to feature a recent and breaking story which is being shared around regarding 9/11.
Oh, 9/11, let's hear this one out here. Another one of those conspiracy theories I'm sure of. What, did the steel beams not melt? Did the fucking World Trade Center 7, was it a demolition? Who knows? Let's hear SO out on this.
Specifically, a professor at Princeton University came forward with a series of documents which the government had given him throughout the 90s regarding a branch of the state known as the Presidential Task Force on Market Mechanisms, a branch and think tank which exists so that all economic policy benefits the interests of the state, and this branch is run and managed by several banks.
How does this have anything to do with 9/11, SO? Are you really just dodging the question at this point? What evidence do you have of 9/11 being an inside job? And please, if you're going to say such a claim, please just get right to the fucking point, because just bullshitting around or just beating around the bush isn't going to win you any favors.
Specifically, they advise the president on the laws that should be passed which would best benefit the state to try and manage the markets. And long story short, Building 7, the Twin Towers, and the specific office of the Pentagon on 9/11, which were destroyed, contained an overwhelming majority of the record of the activities regarding the task force, including reportedly threatening other governments and CEOs of big corporations if they don't impose certain regulations on their markets or lobby for certain regulations to pass, which also relate to the $2.3 trillion announced missing by the Pentagon's Budget Analyst Office on September 10th, 2001.
Oh my god, this is another fucking 9/11 conspiracy video. My god, Esoteric, I thought you were fucking above this. Really, only nut jobs believed that fucking 9/11 was an inside job. Fucking, I've heard this from many people, including some of the people I know in my real life situation, that say, World Trade Center 7, man, that was fucking spooky as hell. Yeah, it may have been, and there is kind of footage to show it may have been spooky, but at the exact same time, we know from actual evidence gathered that Al-Qaeda, a terrorist group, did these terrorist attacks under the command of Osama bin Laden. Hell, the CIA knew about this shit before it even happened, for God's sakes, about bin Laden's activities in Sudan and a whole bunch of areas. Hell, we tried to kill bin Laden back in '96, but fucking Bill Clinton didn't give us the authorization to do it. Now, I want to address your claim about all these documents in the buildings. Now, if you have actual evidence, like clear 100% proof that there were documents inside of that building, then okay. But what you're presenting here is from some Princeton University professor that we don't know is actually legit or not. We have to take your word face value. Now, I would like it if you would actually tell us where we can find these so-called documents. It just really astounds me how you can try your mental gymnastics on 9/11 is kind of funny as hell. Now, you say always in your videos that US interventionism caused a lot of terrorist attacks. Okay, that is true. A lot of US interventionism caused 9/11. But you cannot go on to say that 9/11 was this inside job where, I don't fucking know. Like, there are so many fucking theories about how 9/11 was fake, jet fuel, all that shit, when the actual science shows that, yes, a jetliner crashed into the World Trade Center buildings, and yes, it did cause immense damage to the buildings surrounding it, including World Trade Center 7, which was definitely structurally weakened by all of that fucking fire going on in the two World Trade Centers. My god, like, I cannot honestly stress the point where there are some actual conspiracies that have happened throughout US history, but for a government to freaking crash 2 planes and one into the Pentagon and how many other buildings to try to accomplish some feats is beyond mind-boggling. I can't really find that believable.
So, while Filthy Heretic was trying to read the article, his connection started to cut out while the rest of ours were fine.
Oh my fucking lord, this is just so funny as shit. Okay, so his connection started to come in and out and started to break up. Okay, was his mother on Netflix? Was his brother on PS4? Was his sister taking too many Snapchat selfies and sending them to her boyfriends? Or girlfriends, who knows? Just, you can't assume it's the fucking CIA because Filthy's internet was fucking just spazzing out like an autistic spurg. You can't, because there are a number of factors you have to consider, including the ones I laid out before in sarcastic nonsense. Yeah, guess what? Somebody could have been watching Netflix and his connection was going in and out because it was taking up too much bandwidth. Or he could have had too many tabs opened or whatever. My god, I've worked in the cybersecurity, basically, field, and IT field, for at least a year, and as a hobby for 2 years, and even I know this shit. My god, like, it's simple IT stuff. If you have too much freaking connections going on at once, or too many devices on the same network, you are going to get some lag. And who knows, an AMCOM could have freaking, I don't know, used low-orbit ion cannon to DDoS his freaking router. Who knows? But you can't just say the fucking CIA did that shit. My god.
Then I started trying to read the article, and his connection miraculously became fine immediately after, but my connection started cutting out.
Again, SO, were you doing anything that was making your connection slow, for God's sakes? My god, this could have just been a simple DDoS attack on them by some freaking ANCOMs in their mother's basements, or some freaking non-affiliated hacker who basically just wants to troll people. My god, you guys are really making this more complex than it has to be. And this is why I hate conspiracy theories, because they take something that is basically simple, like, oh, JFK was shot by Lee Harvey Oswald, and they try to stretch the truth out to infinity and beyond, past Voyager fucking 2, and they try to say, oh, JFK was this blah blah blah, or 9/11 this and that, when you could easily just say, hey, a crazy guy shot the president, for God's sakes. Like, seriously, how the fuck do you think that the CIA did that shit and all that stuff? It could have been the mob, who knows, but we're really reaching for straws here when we say that a freaking terrorist attack was really a CIA operation here. Like, seriously. And that's not that I rule out the JFK thing might have been a conspiracy. I'm just saying the stereotypical what conspiracy theories believe and shit like that. Just saying SO.
And this same pattern repeated for everyone else in the call. Filthy Heretic made an offhand joke about the CIA, then I immediately started to think back to the podcast we did on Hoplu's channel back in early December, where Hoplu actually did get DDoSed. So I went into the command prompt of my computer and checked the IP addresses connected to my network, because I thought for sure there were people fucking with our connection.
So, you do realize that just doing an IP config search isn't really going to see who's connected to your damn network. You're gonna need to software like Wireshark, which I use all the time to monitor my router connections. And you would have to check your router yourself. See which people have connected to your network, and that's how it works. You can't just go into ipconfig and check all the DNS servers and try to think that, oh, this is a sure way to find out who's DDoSing me. That's not the way you find out DDoSed you, or how someone DDoSed you.
And sure the fuck enough, there was a second IP address logged into my network.
Know what? Jim Jesus explained this better than I can ever do, but I'll explain a DNS server. So it's kind of like, let's say you're back in the days and you want to make a call from Manhattan to Los Angeles. Now, there are many different substations involved in transferring the call. Now, that's a DNS. It basically looks for, let's say you want to call Los Angeles, so it looks for that number and it routes your call through to Los Angeles. And how Jim Jesus explained it was bigtittymilfs.com, but you should watch his video down in the description down below. Jim could explain it a hell of a lot better than I can. Let's look at this. Now, it says right there DNS servers. Now, the problem there is that the DNS servers is just you connecting to another website. That's not just some second IP logged into your fucking router, for God's sakes. It's not even your IP, for God's sakes. None of these are your IP. Like, my God, these are simple DNS server IPs. It's not the CIA. My God.
So the first thing I did after taking this screenshot is to go into Google and see where the second IP address came from. And well, apparently it came from a Supreme Court building in Richmond, Virginia.
Oh my God, fucking hell. Okay, it came from the Supreme Court of Virginia. But guess what? DNS servers, they have to use other servers as well to actually connect to YouTube and all the other fucking things you were doing at the time. So saying it came from the Supreme Court of Virginia really makes no sense whatsoever. And the fact is, if you're accusing the CIA of doing this, wouldn't it come from the CIA headquarters? Or would it come from some overseas IP address that is being used by the CIA because of the several proxies they may use? Seriously, this just makes no sense, Esso. You have no proof the CIA hacked you whatsoever. So please, shut up.
Yeah. You cannot make this shit up. Those glow-in-the-dark CIA motherfuckers actually tried to tamper with our internet so that we couldn't present our podcast. So think about how absolutely terrified of what we're saying the state must have been in order to target a stream which had 50 live viewers.
Okay, let's look at this deductive reasoning. So we have evidence that the U.S. Supreme Court of Virginia was the DNS server connected to Esso's router. We can easily draw that the CIA hacked Esoteric Entity's live stream. How retarded does that sound when you actually look at it at more than face value? You can't just say that the Supreme Court of Virginia's DNS server was used, therefore the CIA would have fucking hacked you. You can't fucking say that because, one, the CIA wouldn't have used the U.S. Supreme Court of Virginia's IP address. They would have used a foreign IP address that's been scrambled across the fucking world, so you can't do what you're trying to do. Backtrace it. My God, it reminds me of that fucking meme back in the day where it was like, I'm reporting you to cyber police. We've backtraced it. Like, seriously, SO. You are making yourself meme-worthy out of this, as if you weren't already meme-worthy enough. My God.
Not just what we're saying, but of us in general and our message. I mean, it's a decent-sized YouTube audience for a stream, but still.
So I am never going to claim I have a higher live stream count than you, because honestly, I don't. I just really just shoot the shit and talk to my YouTube viewers via the comment section, and just respond to questions. And that usually gets me about 48 people. But you can't fucking say that 50 viewers is a decent amount. Usually for a political commentator, it's about like at least 120 to 150. But honestly, the CIA going after 50 viewer live stream, dropping truth bombs about the 9/11 conspiracies and all that shit, no, they probably wouldn't do that because they have bigger fishes to fry, like Julian Assange or freaking anybody worth their time, and frankly, I don't think you would be worth their time, honestly.
And this also confirms something that I've been saying for a while now. The state and YouTube understand very well that overtly censoring content through terms of service only ends up making it more popular through the Streisand effect. So they only target people like Sargon and these other safe figures which aren't really a challenge to the state since they present themselves as opposition, but all they do is promote statism and try and get people back into the political system.
Okay, he makes a good point about the Streisand effect. If you do censor things, people will go after it more and more and watch it because they'll see it as controversial and they want to hear what you have to say. But in general, I don't think you're worth their time. I don't think so. You posted a fucking Parkland shooting conspiracy video, a 9/11 conspiracy video, and all these conspiracy videos that frankly don't prove anything. And I don't think that the CIA went after those because they wanted to cover up some false flag or some shit. I think in general it was against YouTube's terms of service, and they went after you because you were making an ass out of yourself. But I don't think you should have been censored. In general, I think that censorship is a bad thing, but if you don't have evidence to prove that the CIA or the FBI or the government fucking censored your YouTube channel, besides YouTube that censored you, not the government, I think you have no legs to stand on.
They have their videos removed, but actual opposition to the state gets quietly pushed down in the algorithms, and in cases like yesterday, they fuck with our internet in order to make it appear as if we had to take down the stream due to technical difficulties.
Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, SO. If you have this extraordinary claim that the CIA hacked you, you better have some damn convincing evidence to do so. And you better have good convincing evidence, because if this thing is a fucking fluke, which it is, people are going to fucking laugh at you, and you're going to be the fucking boy that cried wolf. No pun intended. It's just so fucking stupid how you say, oh, this and this happened, and you have no evidence to present it. You know something, if you want to know if people have been hacking through your fucking network, you could always download Wireshark off SourceForge and have it running 24/7 on a separate computer, and eventually, if you look through it enough, and you dedicate fucking 30 hours of your life in your mother's fucking basement, then eventually you may find an attack, but it's most likely from a private source or some foreign government, not the fucking CIA. If the CIA was really convinced that you were a threat, they would have fucking probably would have assassinated you by now, or actually have done real action by having the FBI arrest you, if you were that much of a threat, which you aren't. You're a fucking 20-something-year-old living in your mother's fucking basement or your parents' house making YouTube conspiracy videos. If that's worthy of fucking the FBI coming after you, I think Alex Jones would have been taken out a long time ago. So please, fuck off.
Well, game over, motherfuckers, because we caught you. We have hard proof you've been messing with our streams with the intention of trying to stop us from getting actual news out to our audience and exposing your misdeeds.
Oh, look at here, S.O. Holmes. He finally fucking found out the CIA was hacking him. He was on the trail. He knew the evidence. He found it out. And he knows that you fucking CIA people have been spying on him. Good try, CIA. But guess what? This fucking Scooby-Doo guy foiled your plans once and for all. Like, seriously, this dude is fucking retarded. If he thinks going into his IP config or his IP settings and looking at what IP servers were there constitutes as the FBI hacking him, then I must be a fucking rocket scientist. My gosh, like seriously, SO has gone off the fucking... He is Looney Tunes, for God's sakes. He is one of the conspiracy theorist fucking people you see outside of the train station, a homeless guy rambling about fucking aliens, UFOs, 9/11 and all this shit, and you're like, oh, poor fucking guy. Seriously, this dude is fucking nuts.
How about you give us a little kwai, CIA? Come on, you deserve to have yourself a little kwai. Because your plans backfired and now we all know what you're really afraid of. Counter-economics and anarchist content. So guys, if you really want to scare the state, you should share this video and other voluntarist content, because as you can see, this is what really scares the government. Anyway, see y'all later.
Indeed, see y'all later and fuck me in the ass and call me the CIA. I've been duped and fucked once again and for the last time. Well guys, that was absolutely hilarious. SO has gone off the fucking rails. He is Looney Tunes. He is a fucking conspiracy theorist through and through. Alex Jones would give him a pat on the back. Now guys, if you liked the video, please subscribe, hit the fucking like button, do all the stereotypical shit that a YouTuber asks their viewers at the end of the day to do. I love you guys, have a great week, and guess what? Stay free, everyone.